What's the worst thing you've ever done to NPCs in games? In Oblivion there was only one real permanent way to get rid of the adoring fan. You had to have him follow you, enter a gate of Oblivion, and then order him to wait anywhere in the hellish wasteland. Then, go about exiting the gate and sealing it. He's trapped, now. There is no means to return to that exact instance, and as far as I know he won't respawn. So he's sealed away for an eternity in the Elder Scrolls version of hell, lol. In Skyrim, I soul trapped Nazim, used the soul gem to enchant an old pair of boots, then dropped the boots as far out into the ocean as I could. Kill the entire farm, murder his wife, steal all the crops plus valuables and leave him tied up inside his home after poisoning him. That'll teach him to call me a milk drinker. Anytime anyone in an inn in Skyrim calls me a milk drinker I brawl and beat the ever-loving shit out of them. That'll teach them to mess with the orc in enchanted Daedric heavy armor. I used to create the square in Roller Coaster Tycoon. Basically, you get your park to a decent amount of visitors and then block the exit by raising the land in front of it. Then you're going to want to create a raised area in the shape of a plus sign and build a food stand, a drink stand, a washroom, and an ATM. Ideally there should be only one square available in the center to move around on. Here's where it gets fun. One by one, place the NPCs onto the raised square until everyone in the park is condensed into this tiny little area. I'm talking hundreds of people squeezed into a place the size of a car. Charge them $40 to take a shit and sit back and watch as they collectively lose their minds. Choked out a guard and put him in a dumpster. Then put all the dismembered corpses of his friends right along with him. And a tank of highly volatile whale oil. I played a standard game of Crusader Kings 2nd. I once seduced the wife of my childhood bully and cucked him, then imprisoned and castrated him. Then I made him a commander and put him in charge of the levy of some shitty castle, put him on a ship, and sailed him to the coast of Finland from Greece until he got scurvy and died. In Super Scribble Notes I created a fertile cannibalistic woman and put her in a room with a man. Infinite child cannibalism. D. In Just Cause 3 I frequently attach walking pedestrians to my fighter jet that I kamikaze into military bases. So no matter what I always get a few kills. I attach them to the windmills and watch them go round and round. Ran over an old lady, torched the ambulance that was dispatched to revive her, and stole the fire truck sent to put out the ambulance fire. Which I then parked on top of the old lady. Edit oops, posted to wrong topic. I like Grand Theft Auto 2. Heal up with a hooker, then when she gets out of your car, run her over, and get your money back. Though I think just slaughtering everyone with a stolen military aircraft is the best. Death from above. In the original Thief game, I knocked servants unconscious with the blackjack. Then I piled them on the cooking fire. They never regained conscious, but they would periodically cry out or groan in pain. Until after a while they didn't anymore. I threw my lovable companion Cube into a furnace. Why Gladys, why would you make me do that? You monster. There was a side quest in Assassin's Creed Syndicate where you had to take down this hypnotist. You had to sneak up on him each time you were noticed he hypnotized you and made you start the thing over. Happened to me so many times that once I finally got him and delivered him to Scotland Yard, I broke him out, put him to sleep, and threw his body into the Thames. I was so confused on how to do this first time, and in my half-asleep flu state, kept bringing death from above somehow. I hadn't played the game in a while either, just put it on because I miss Jacob. Once in Skyrim I just got Lydia and was experimenting with giving her commands. We were upstairs in the room at the inn, and I was trying to get her to close the door. At the exact split second I hit the button labeled close door, the innkeeper lady appeared in the doorway. Time slowed as I saw the text change from close door to kill. Too late, I'd pressed the button. Lydia proceeds to brutally murder the innkeeper. Whoops. The best bit. When we went downstairs in the inn, one of the innkeeper's children had taken over the running of the place and was apparently more than happy to keep us on as guests despite the fact that we'd accidentally killed their mother. I got the trophy dastardly in RDR. Also got the one for having the US Marshals being called to you, then getting pardoned. For those of you who haven't played it, this dastardly involves tying up a woman, throwing her on the train tracks, and watching her get run over by a train. So yeah, that's pretty dark. I got married, had a kid, then divorced my spouse, turned the kid into a dove, wiped their memory, then did it all over again. I don't really play a lot of games where you can fuck around with the NPCs, and honestly divorcing Shane for Sebastian, after having been married to him for 2 years, saying that I loved him, and having 2 kids is probably like the 3rd worst thing I've done in a video game. First Fable game, I'd massacre a town, buy all their houses, and put them up for rent. Leave for a few days, come back to them all respawned, and paying me for the privilege of living in their own houses. And because all the witnesses were dead, none of them ever held it against me. Found a wild animal, sent my mutant pet to fight it. Once the wild animal is passed out from exhaustion, I put in a tiny ball-shaped container and only bring it out when I need it to fight. Baby penguin off the cliff. I tried this once. I fell off and learned that just beating the game is good enough for me. 90 something stars later, and I'm still struggling for 120. Murder them and raise them from the dead as my minions. I guess. Animal Crossing? That's what you get for complaining about my flowers, bitch. In Hitman Blood Money, I shoved a lady down some stairs, dragged her unconscious body into the pool, so she drowned, then put her corpse into a trash compactor. Back in my EverQuest days, I would get bored and get close enough to roaming hill giants, so they would chase me. As a druid, I could cast Spirit of the Wolf, a run speed buff, on myself, so as soon as I got enough distance I would also cast an Invis spell, then kite the hill giants to guards and watch them kill each other. Not long into this little routine, I watched in shock as the giants would also attack and kill any nearby players. That's when the fun began. When I played, they were heavily farmed for gold. I was a rogue, so I would just sneak around and pickpocket them. This was when mobs spawned with a finite amount of coin. People would get so pissed at the stupid dark elf rogue piece of shit stealing all the coin. Thing is that I was actually a dwarf in evil faction territory at the time, just was wearing the dark elf mask from Guck, so they could have totally killed me. In Skyrim there was this old dragon that lived on top of a mountain. After I got the information I needed from him, I backstabbed him and killed him. After that I absorbed his soul, then blew his skeleton down the mountainside. Told some married old man to wear this beret and stand in front of a giant dinosaur. It's hard work scrubbing brain matter off boots, ick now. Soul trapped, cooked with flames, resurrected as a dead thrall, gave him purposely bad weapons, used the soul to fire enchant a knife, stabbed him with the dagger sometimes. I didn't like Nazim very much. In Breath of the Wild, if I find a Korok under a rock I immediately drop it, just to hear their cute little ouch